Hi guys, this is Double Your Dutch. This is lesson 12 of our Learning Dutch video series on YouTube. Okay, there's a little hiatus because I actually was working on the course that I'm selling through the website, which previously had 130 lessons, and this has now been expanded to 300 lessons. Okay, so it's quite a bit more material for you to check out. If you're interested, sign up for the free newsletter. You get some trial lessons. You see if you like it. So 300 lessons now available. And it also includes recommendations for film and music and other stuff. Okay, so let's get to this lesson. It is can I or may I, right? So to can and to may. Kunnen and mogen. It's pretty important. You use this quite often. As you would in English. So to can is kunnen, and to may is mogen. Okay, so let's look at the verb kunnen. It's ik kan, so that's an irregular version. Jij kunt, which is regular, plus t, and hij kan, irregular. Plural is the same as always, it's the full verb. Wij kunnen, jullie kunnen, zij kunnen. Pretty straightforward. You just have to use the irregular version for I and he. Ik kan, hij kan. The rest is actually standard. Let's look at mogen, which is to may. Ik mag, irregular. Jij mag, hij mag. Okay, this is unusual. All the singular versions are the same and they're irregular. So you just have to remember them. Ik mag, jij mag, hij mag. And then wij mogen, jullie mogen, zij mogen. So that's, of course, again, regular, just like the full verb. Okay, so let's practice with some sentences. You might say, kan ik dat doen? Can I do that? Mag ik dat doen? May I do that? Now, can, of course, can be permissive, just like in English, like, do I have permission to do this? But may is then the more polite version of it, just like in English. May I do that, or can I do that? But of course, can also indicates, do I have the capability to do that? Am I good enough to do this, right? Something like that. That's the same in Dutch. So to can, to may, they're used in the same way in sentences, right? So let's look at some more sentences. Dat kan hij nu niet meer doen. Dat kan hij nu niet meer doen. Okay, so kan ik dat doen? Mag ik dat doen? Okay, can I doen is to do. Dat is that. So can I do that? Mag ik dat doen? You just switch around the do and the that compared to English because it's a question. You just switch around the that and the do because you end with kan ik dat doen? Right? Mag ik dat doen? Okay. Next sentence. Dat kan hij nu niet meer doen. Dat kan hij nu niet meer doen. So that he can now no longer do. Meer is more. Niet is not. So not more, literally. So it basically means not anymore, not any longer. Yeah? So he can now not do that anymore. Yeah, and the sentence structure again to do at the end. Dat kan hij nu niet meer doen. Or you can say, dat mag je nooit meer doen. That you may never do again. Nooit meer. Nooit is never. Meer is more. Never more. Nooit meer is never again, you would say in English. Nooit meer, never again. You can never do that again. Then, zij kunnen dat heel goed. They can do that very well. Heel is whole or very. So in this case, it's very good. That and good, goed, is pretty straightforward. Zij kennen elkaar erg goed. Erg goed. Right. Okay. So one thing I've added here is kennen. We've looked at this verb before. Kennen sounds a lot like kunnen, or looks a lot like it. It's only one letter change. But kennen is, of course, to know, to be familiar with. Zij kennen elkaar erg goed. Not to be confused with zij kunnen dat heel goed. Even Dutch people sometimes mix these two up. Right? Zij kennen elkaar goed. Elkaar is each other. Each other. So that's pretty important one to learn. Erg is very. Very. If erg is in isolation, so it is bad. So if you say dit is erg, oh, that's bad. Oh, that's, like not good at all, like sad or whatever. Oh, wat erg. Yeah. But if it's used as an adjective before good, for example, it's just to emphasize the good. So it would be very good. So they know each other very good. So let's ask a question. Mag ik u wat vragen? May I ask you something? Wat is what or something? In this case, something. Can I ask you something? Kan ik een vraag stellen? So vragen is the verb to ask, right? And if you turn that into a noun, it's a question. To ask, vragen, but a question is een vraag. Yeah, it's pretty similar actually to the verb, unlike in English where ask and question are completely different. Mag ik u wat vragen? Kan ik een vraag stellen? Stellen is something you don't really use in isolation. You cannot stel anything. It doesn't mean anything. Like I stel. That doesn't mean anything. But it means to ask a question. So in combination with to ask or a question, in combination with to ask or a question, so you ask what? A question, and then it's like een vraag stellen. Kan ik, can I, a question stellen. It's ask. It's not ask literally, it doesn't mean ask, but it just is used in this way. So to ask a question is to stel een vraag stellen. Yeah, depending on whether it's singular or plural. Kan ik een vraag stellen? Then we have some other options with these verbs. Zij mogen elkaar niet. They may each other not. That's literally what it said. They may each other not. But mogen also has a second meaning as being to like. To like. So if you like somebody, you think they're sympathetic, agreeable, whatever. You think they're a nice guy. You say, ik mag hem. Ik mag haar. Wij mogen elkaar. Zij mogen elkaar. And the negative would be, zij mogen elkaar niet. So they don't like each other. Yeah? So to like, but only in terms of people, not in terms of anything else. You don't say, I like this chocolate, then you don't use it. It's only in terms of people. Zij mogen elkaar niet. And mogen is to find somebody likable. Different version, zij kan erg aardig zijn. She can be very nice. Erg, again, is very. Aardig is nice. Friendly. Friendly person is aardig. Yeah? Zij kan erg aardig zijn. She can be very nice. She's able to be very nice. Yeah? So let's also include the past tense. So mogen, ik mag, for all singular versions. En wij mogen. Past tense is mochten. Mochten, ik mocht. En wij mochten. It's the same for every version. So I, he, whatever. Mocht, mochten. Yeah? That's the past tense. So you can say, ik mocht geen vragen stellen. I was not allowed, basically, was not allowed. That's how you say it in the past tense. I was not allowed to ask questions. Or, we mochten dat nooit meer doen volgens mijn moeder. Right? Okay, so we were not allowed to ever do that again, according to my mom. Volgens mijn moeder. According to my mom. Nooit meer doen, never do that again. Let's look at the past tense of kunnen. Kunnen is ik kan, jij kunt, hij kan, en wij kunnen. That's the present tense. Past tense is konden. Konden. Again, irregular. Ik kon, hij kon, jij kon, en wij konden. So all the versions are the same. Ik kon, wij konden. So you might say, wij konden daar niks aan doen. Wij konden daar niks aan doen. We could not, right, do anything about that. Daar, in this case that. Normally it's there, but in this case it's that. Niks is nothing. Aandoen. To do anything about. To do about, basically. Aandoen is to do about. So we could not do anything about that. Yeah, of course, in English you say, we couldn't do anything. But here you actually say, we couldn't do nothing about that. We could do nothing about this. Or about that. We could do nothing about that. That's essentially what you say. So you don't say, we couldn't do anything. You say, we could do nothing. Hij kon dat toen nog niet. Okay, so hij kon, he could, that. So he couldn't do that, essentially. Toen is then, or back then, always in the past. Nog niet is not yet. Yeah? So he could not do that yet, back then. In English, you would always use the verb can do, combination, can do. And here, if you just say, I can, also goes for the present tense, by the way, I can, that's enough. You don't have to use the word do. So if you say, I can do this, so you say, I can this. You don't say, I can do this. You say, I can this. He could this. We can this. Yeah? That's how you say it. You don't use the do in combination necessarily. Okay. Ik mocht geen vraag stellen, maar ik deed het toch. Ik mocht. I was allowed. Geen vraag, so not a question. So I wasn't allowed to ask a question. Ik mocht geen vraag stellen. I was not allowed to ask a question. But I did it anyway. Maar ik deed. Deed is the past tense of do. So I did it. Het is it. So I did it. Toch is, well, right in some cases. But in this case, appropriate would be to say anyway. That's kind of a rhetorical thing. So I did it anyway, despite the fact that I wasn't allowed. Ik deed het toch. Ik mocht geen vraag stellen, maar ik deed het toch. You could also say, ik doe dat het liefst zo vaak als het maar kan. I do that, preferably, het liefst. It's kind of my favorite way, or in this case, preferably. So het liefst, I do that, preferably, zo vaak. So is so, or as in this case, as often. Vaak is often. So I do that preferably as often as it is possible. Als het maar kan. Because kunnen you can also translate it as we can do that. We can say het kan. It means it's possible. Right? It's not just I am able to do it or I'm allowed to do it, but it's also just it's possible. So ik doe dat het liefst. I do that preferably. Zo vaak. As often. Als. As. It. Het. Maar kan. Is possible. Yeah? And maar is of course but. But in this case, used in this sentence, it would be als het maar kan is as possible. As it is possible. Yeah? Bring in the voltooid deelwoord. So kunnen. Konden is the past tense, and then the voltooid deelwoord would be gekund. Gekund. It's with a D. Why is it with a D? Well, if you go back to soft ketchup, is the letter N in soft ketchup? No, it is not. Okay, so then you use a D. So you might say, dat had gekund. That would have been possible. Ik heb het ooit wel gekund. Ooit is at some point or ever. So I have been able to do it at some point. Wel is to confirm that you are able to do it rather than not. Ooit is at some point ever in time. Let's do the same voltooid deelwoord for mogen is mogen, mochten. And then gemogen is the voltooid deelwoord. Gemogen. Now this is an exception because usually voltooid deelwoord usually ends with a D or T. Some cases it ends with en. Don't ask me why, but just take it all in. Gemogen, yeah? Okay. So you just add ge, just like you usually do at the voltooid word. Like in gekund, you do gemogen, but other than that, you just keep the main verb mogen. Dat had van mij niet gemogen. That would have been possible. That would not have been allowed. Van mij is like according to me or on my watch, or, you know. If I was in charge, dat had van mij niet gemogen. That would not have been allowed. Mag ik je iets vragen? Mag ik, may I, ask you iets? Iets is something. Something can be what? Something can also be iets. Iets can also be anything, really. Natuurlijk, of course. Or naturally, right? That's really what it's related to. Natuurlijk, naturally, of course. Wij vragen elkaar toch altijd van alles. We ask each other, always, altijd, van alles, everything. Like, van alles is like everything and nothing, right? Like, all kinds of things. Van alles, all kinds of things. En toch is like the rhetorical, like, right? Wij vragen elkaar toch altijd van alles. We always ask each other all kinds of things, right? So ja, natuurlijk, wij vragen elkaar toch altijd van alles. Ik vraag dat toch ook helemaal niet. I ask that. Toch ook. Helemaal niet. In this case, that's not what I'm asking at all. Ook helemaal niet. Toch ook helemaal niet is like, that's not what I'm asking at all. If somebody accuses you of like asking a weird question, you say, ik vraag dat toch ook helemaal niet. Or somebody asks you, gives you an answer that you didn't ask for. Ik vraag dat toch helemaal niet. Ik vraag dat toch ook helemaal niet. You know, like you could do toch is like right, and ook is also, and helemaal is like completely. Okay, but if you do that literally word for word, you don't really catch the full meaning. If you say, ik vraag dat toch ook helemaal niet, it's like, that's not what I'm asking at all. That would be the proper translation. How about, jullie vragen daar altijd naar. You always ask about that. To ask about is vragen naar. Vragen naar. So we bumped into the verb vragen a few times, to ask. Let's look at the full conjugation. Vragen, ik vraag, jij vraagt, hij vraagt en wij vragen. And of course it's also jullie vragen en zij vragen. Past tense is vroegen, ik vroeg, wij vroegen, hij vroeg, zij vroeg, also the same. And the voltooid word is ik heb gevraagd. Gevraagd. Is G in soft ketchup? No. So it ends with a D. Okay. Few questions with the past tense. Ik vroeg hem waar hij was geweest. So I asked him where he had been. Waar hij was geweest. Where he had been. I asked him. Ik vroeg hem. Waarom heb je dat gevraagd? Why did you ask that? Why have you asked that? Waarom mogen wij dat niet doen? Why aren't we allowed? May we not do that? Why may we not do that? Waarom kan hij dat wel en jij niet? Why is he able to do that or allowed to do that and you're not? Waarom kan hij dat wel en jij niet? Why does he have the skill to do that but you don't? Heb je dat aan haar gevraagd? Did you ask her? If you say, did you ask her, then you also add the verb, the word aan. So do you ask her it? Aan haar, aan hem, aan mij. You always use that. You can't leave it. Heb je dat haar gevraagd? Yeah, well, heb je dat mij gevraagd? Yeah, you could leave it out in these sentences actually, but it's normal not to. You would say, aan haar gevraagd. Did you ask her about it? Aan haar gevraagd. So just use aan and then the pronoun. Heb je daarnaar gevraagd? Well, have you asked about that? And if it's that in this case, it would be daarnaar. To ask about something would be naar vragen. About that, you might say, heb je daarnaar gevraagd? So you can say, iets vragen, so to ask something. Vragen aan mij, jou, hem, haar, ons, jullie en hen. All the pronouns, so aan mij, aan jou, aan hem, aan haar, etc. Vragen naar would be, to ask a question about this or that. Right? And just to recap the nouns, de vraag is the question, and de vragen is the questions, plural. Related to this, in terms of being possible or being able to do this, relevant nouns are de kans, which is the chance, and de mogelijkheid. Mogelijkheid, of course, is related to mogen, and a mogelijkheid is an opportunity. Mogelijkheid is opportunity or possibility. Yeah? Okay. So basically that covers asking questions. May I do that? Can I do that? Is it possible that? Hopefully you found it helpful. Of course, go to DoubleYourDutch, sign up for the free email lessons. And of course, check out the course. It's now expanded to 300 lessons. Check it out on DoubleYourDutch.com. Until then, see you next time.